So for 15 years, I took action from the ego, and it only led me to, I won't say only, but ultimately it led me to multiple deep burnouts. I was addicted to alcohol, drinking 1 to 2 bottles a night just to escape my thoughts and inner critic and just to slow down for a second. It led me to season after season of depression and crippling anxiety and just truly disconnected from myself and my life. You've probably heard the term depersonalization. I felt like I was just standing still, like I was in a dream. And I equate it to those time-lapse videos where they pass so quickly. I felt like I was just standing still in the middle, and then my life, everything and everyone was just revolving and moving and progressing, and I was standing still. And that was towards the end when my body was just breaking down and knew that I could not keep living and doing business and taking action from ego, from this deep fear-based survival state that just was there to protect me, right? And it's funny because I felt dead on the inside, but the outside, I got praised. I was praised nonstop for the one that always had it together, that looked perfect, 00 jeans, TV career, publicist for celebrities and athletes. I was a professional cheerleader. I built a multiple 6-figure online business. I had this beautiful luxury condo at the beach. On the surface, I looked like I had it all, but I was secretly dying inside. And that's what happens when you continue to operate from this ego survival state that's really just trying to prove and perfect and make sure you look a certain way so you stay loved, so you stay validated, so you stay worthy, so you stay valuable, so you continue to belong, right? We're supposed to belong to a tribe, and even with our parents, if we get outside of this ego way of living, deep subconsciously, it's this fear of actually being rejected from our mom, from our dad, from our tribe. Right? And so that into adulthood then drives our behavior, how we interact with people, relationships, coworkers, clients, and it will drive you into the ground. And usually that's when the wake-up call happens, right? But I'm hoping that this video hits you in a place where you don't have to get to that rock bottom, right? Because I've hit this multiple times, but I truly hit it deep down, bottomed out in October of last year. So it's been a year. And so this year I really promised myself my word for the year was simplify. And so I slowed down. I decided to simplify my life and business and heal. And so what this looked like, I actually sold almost all of my things. I let go of my luxury condo at the beach. I let go of everything that was built from ego. That condo at the beach, I had to ask myself, is this truly me, or was this just to look good to my mom, to my friends, to prove that I make a lot of money and I'm super successful? And the answer is yes. Right now, True Carrie is more of a minimalist. I would rather put money to experiences and travel and taking care of my mind and body. And so I had to really look at that and surrender to what it would look like to actually come home to myself and to create content and film and post and interact with clients and sell and deliver transformation, which I do in my mentorship business. What does that look like from a place of actually loving myself? What does that look like from a place of not needing to prove my worth, just being enough as I am, just having my experience and my story and my message be enough? What does it look like to actually show up on YouTube and to be watched and to be paid from just being me? Because really that hasn't felt safe. I've needed to have these elaborate frameworks or 5-step protocols or long sales pages, perfect Canva slides, fully scripted out YouTube videos, looking perfect when I went live on Instagram. That's what it's been. And that takes so much energy. That will drain your soul. And I have a feeling that you're probably feeling like that right now. And so before I go into what this has looked like the last year, because my year has been freaking magical in a way I could have never thought possible without hustling 1 second, without trying to grasp or chase for money or results or needing to control the message or how it's received. I've let go. I've been able to create this safety in my body where I don't worry where my next paycheck's coming from. I am just in this state of gratitude and trusting God that He will provide. And He has provided every day this year. And so I will paint that picture in a second, but I want to go back to October of last year because the message that came to me was taking action from ego is keeping you sick. It is keeping you in this state of dis-ease. you become addicted, whether that's to alcohol, food, or social media, or just addicted to performing on camera and overworking and hustling, it's keeping you burnt out. And a lot of people think burnout comes from doing too much. It's actually coming from hustling and doing from a place of inauthenticity. You are taking action to prove versus taking action from your truth to express, to serve. And one of those will exhaust your soul, drain your spirit, and physically deplete you to the point of bed rotting, right? And one will light you up and fuel you and allow you to work 24 hours a day if you wanted to, because it's from truth, right? And back in October, I also slipped back into this deep depression. And I love the Jim Carrey quote, if you're feeling depressed, it's not signaling that there's nothing wrong with you. It is a warning sign from your body that's now screaming. It shifted from fatigue to anxiety to now deep depression, which is shutting your nervous system down, forcing you to slow down, right? But it's your body signaling that you need deep rest from the character you've been playing. And that's what this state of acting from ego looks like after years of just going on this hamster wheel. And so I'm such a nerd when it comes to the physiology and how emotions and actions and really operating from trauma, because that's what it is. We're praised for all of these behaviors that on the outside are perfect and successful and all the things, but really it's just trauma in disguise. And so how does that trauma affect your brain and your body on a physiological level and an emotional level, right? They go hand in hand. And so when you're in this state, chemically, your body, it's just a freaking shitstorm, right? Cortisol and adrenaline are constantly flowing. The inflammation and the pain caused by that, it's also causing insomnia, gut issues. Now you're probably having salt and sugar cravings. Then you're gaining weight, which is affecting your self-esteem and your confidence, and then creating this rumination and negative self-talk, which leads to more anxiety and depression, which then leads to addictions. For me, my drug of choice is alcohol and food. And so what this looked like at the end was a bottle or two of wine a night and just stuffing my face with macaroni and chips, because I just desperately wanted to escape this rat race. I wanted to escape the voice in my head, this inner critic, which is the ego saying, you're a piece of shit, or you're not worthy if you're not moving. And then if you're moving and you fuck up the script or don't look perfect or skinny on camera, then you're worthless and you're never going to make money. You're never going to gain the followers. No one's going to want to pay you. Logically, it sounds ridiculous, but this is not logical. It is trauma and emotions and memory from early on that is stuck in your body that's still running the show. Can lead to things like depersonalization and derealization, where you truly are disconnected from your body. It's like you're floating above yourself and your life, and everything's moving, but you're stuck in quicksand. And that is a terrifying feeling. So I think a lot of coaches use these fluffy words like fatigue and exhaustion and brain fog and burnout. And yes, it's all of those things, but all of these things are connected and they start to run deeper and deeper. It'll start as little signals. Your energy is not what it was, or you're maybe not able to fall asleep as quick as you used to be. Those are smaller symptoms, but as you keep going in this way, which your body is now resisting, it's now fighting, it's not sustainable anymore. Those symptoms, those signals, I call them signals from your soul, from your body, they start to get louder. And so this progresses over time. And that's the message I really want to get across today is, what is it costing you to continue to take action and live from ego versus surrendering to the flow and letting God lead you through this process? And it's scary at first because the ego has convinced you that it's not safe to just be you and to just go with the flow and trust that everything's going to work out and you can get paid and be seen and be heard and be successful as you. It doesn't feel safe. So even when I've started to, in the last few months, get visible on YouTube, my body put up a fight. The resistance was really intense to the point it would bring me to tears, because I wanted so desperately to be seen as myself, but my body was so resistant to it. And it was like I was in this functional freeze state where my soul wanted to move forward, but the ego wanted to keep me stuck. And so it's taking these micro steps that teach your body it is safe to be you. It is safe to be in this flow. It is safe to trust God and allow God to just move through you instead of needing to feed the algorithm what it wants, find the perfect hook, have this 5-step framework, script out a whole perfect script. What would it look like if you just said, God, I trust you. What needs to come through, and tapping into your intuition, and that in a internal intelligence and letting that lead, letting your story move people through the camera, letting your lived experience and who you are at the core be enough, right? And so that was the journey I went on this year. And I took about 6 months off of my business and had zero income coming in, but that spaciousness allowed me to really hear what was trying to come through, what God was trying to do in my life and my business. And I ended up burning my entire business to the ground that I had had for 12 years. I deleted my Instagram with thousands of followers. People knew me by Carry On Confidently. That business is now retired. And that was really scary. But I knew that this new me, this new path needed that rebirth. It needed this clean slate, this new foundation. And that's where Breaking Her Free was born. And my new mission is to liberate women through this work. And I surrendered to the flow. And every day that looked different. And I'll do another YouTube video on what that really means and what that really looks like. But I want to tell you that what has transpired in just 9 months really is nothing short of miraculous. And I have 4 times my business this year versus last year. I have not posted on social media one time. Actually, I take that back. I posted twice on LinkedIn in February 2025. So 0 social media, y'all. Believe it. And I only had to pitch one client, and that was mid-February. From there, referrals, every client has re-signed, and clients have just dropped from the sky. Remember, I have not been on social media. I have one profile on a coaching website, hire me to help with mentorship with system, business, aligned marketing, this feminine way of doing business. And women I didn't even know 24 hours before are dropping in my world. We have the most magical conversation, like known each other forever, and then they're dropping high 4 and 5 figures. And I look back now and I'm like, wow, it could have been like this the whole time. But really it couldn't, because my past, this whole path has primed me, has nurtured me, has pushed me through the depths that I needed to go through to have these lessons, to now teach people like you and my clients. And I'm just in awe. And I'm sitting here at 11 a.m. on a Thursday morning with so much peace in my heart, filming this YouTube video from just what's being channeled. So I just wanted to share that with you, because there is another way of doing things, and continuing to operate from survival and ego, even though it is producing what you want right now, it's going to kill you in the long term. And I don't want that for you. And again, I know it's scary, because when you let go, your instinct is going to be, I'm never going to be successful again. Like, it's not possible if I don't work hard and push and force and betray myself. But I want you to know that it is possible, and I'm living, breathing proof of it after 15 years of living and doing business that way. So let that land. If you are interested in this way of creation and income making and doing business, do have my Divine Direction calls. They're $100 off for the rest of the month. I encourage you to book one. Always helpful to have this reflection and this mirror and the support and accountability to start to pivot and live and take action from a divine, intuitive, flow-based way. And I am certified in somatics and nervous system and EFT and all the healing modalities, including holistic health and nutrition. And so from that perspective, I can really hold you in that in-between of where ego's trying to pull you back to the old self, the old way of doing things. Yet your new self knows that success you want, the virality you want, the fame you want, the stages you want to step on are really going to be born from this heart-centered, truth-fueled, divine-led way. So I would love to be your support network. The link in my bio if you're interested in that. And until next time.